The title of my book is Zazu. It was written and published by Richard Marsh in 2001. Zazu is a little girl from Vietnam whose parents died due to a landmine explosion at the age of 2. She was adopted by a man named Grandparry who took her back to France. As she grew up, she noticed that she didn't look like everybody else. Like everybody else had blonde hair and blue eyes, while her eyes were dark and her hair was jet black. While when she was little, her and her grandfather wrote poetry. He taught her how to ice skate on the canal. They live in France between a canal and a river. They both have a passion for water, and they're both extremely patient people. Um, One day in October, when Zazu was 13, about to turn 14, a boy named Marius rode beside her canal. He asked a very peculiar question. He asked if their village pharmacist was ever married. Zazu wasn't too sure, but she pretty much knew that the pharmacist was never married. Turns out he wasn't. Um, the pharmacist's name is Felix Klein. When he was 11 years old, his family and his older sister were killed by German soldiers. Okay, so Grandparry, who is Zazu's grandfather, saved Felix Klein and took him into the mountains. There, he lived with a little girl around Felix's age, around 11, named Simone. Simone and Felix ended up falling in love, but due to Felix being Jewish, they were never allowed to be married. As they grew older, Simone married a Protestant man like her family intended for her to. She lived her life. When her husband died years later, they were all around 63, but Grandparry was 70. Grandparry lost his memory. He's going through stages of dementia, and Zazu is the only person that cared for him. Okay? Felix Klein blames Grandparry for the death of his sister and his parents. They have not spoken in 48 years. Zazu and Felix Klein end up becoming really close to the point where she starts to call him Uncle Felix. He loves being in her company. They make gingerbread together and tea. Felix Klein, um, Felix Klein decides that it's finally time for him and Grandparents to speak. During this, Marius goes back to Paris and talks to Simone. Simone's husband died a few years previous, but her love for Felix never dwindled. She was always in love with him and wanted to go back to see if she could find him and things could rekindle. At the end of the book, Marius and Zazu fall in love, while Felix and Simone get back together. Grandparry's memory isn't fully restored. He is still fading in and out, but he remembers his first love, Isabel, who's Felix Klein's sister. While he remembers Isabel, he tells Zazu about her, and Felix tells Zazu about his sister as well. There are 3 reasons why I would recommend this book. The first reason is because it is extremely interesting. It is a page turner. The second reason is because it gives you an insight as to how soldiers from World War II felt after the war was over, the things they went through, and how the lives of the other people involved were changed forever. The third reason is because it's a love story. So if you like that type of thing, I definitely recommend you read this book.